Okay.
So very clever.
Hi, Prashant.
Hi.
I was wondering if you could tell me what areas you like to invest in, what themes that you're interested in.
Sure. So I will give it to you from the perspective of a new group that we launched about a year ago. Actually, we announced it last TiCon. I know the audience can't tell on the camera, but we're at the Ti conference right now.
Yes.
But we launched an initiative here at TiCon called Ti Angels.
Right.
And since that announcement, we started our formal dinner meetings with entrepreneurs in about September of 2010. And we've invested now in 6 companies, and we've invested $3 million across those 6 companies.
Great.
And within the Thai community, the way this whole program came up was that we noticed a lot of our charter members were doing angel investing anyway. And so we said, why don't we collectively look at investment opportunities together? We can
Great.
share resources, share efforts, and due diligence. And that way we're not out in the wilderness doing our own investing.
Yes.
And so that's proved to be a very successful program. We see
Fantastic.
about 3 companies every third Monday of every month. And the types of companies that we see are generally technology centric. So
Okay.
they tend to be companies in internet, mobility, in software, in cloud, some semiconductors, clean tech, medical devices, or medical technologies.
Okay.
We also see occasionally consumer companies, but given the tech heavy weight of the Thai membership, we tend not to see as many, nor do they get as much attention, but
Okay.
I wouldn't discourage them from applying necessarily either.
Okay. And is there a particular domain that you're personally interested in or personally experienced in?
Yeah, so before I helped launch Thai Angels, I
Yeah.
spent 10 years at Hummer Winblad Venture Partners.
Yes, I know that.
And so that was, Hummer Winblad's very well known for its a strong enterprise software background, so very much of the enterprise software,
Right.
infrastructure software,
Right.
things that help push consumer applications, but not the consumer applications themselves.
Great.
And so those are the kinds of things that I enjoy looking at.
Fantastic. And I was wondering what an entrepreneur would need to bring to the table for you to be interested in their business.
Well, the thing I always tell entrepreneurs is when they come to any investor, they are not competing against the other companies that they have in their competition slide in their pitch deck.
Right.
They're competing against other investment opportunities that investors are looking at. And so what they have to do is convince me or any other investor that their company, that their business
Yes.
is the best investment opportunity of everything else that we're looking at.
Okay.
And so it's not just about here's my competition, here's the problem I'm solving, et cetera, et cetera. What I tell people to do is to answer 2 questions for me generally.
Okay.
The first is, in your business, tell me why a customer that you're chasing is compelled to make a purchase decision. In other words,
Great question.
well, in other words, what I'm asking is not just, why are they buying, but why do they want to change what they're doing today so that they're even thinking about buying something? It doesn't have to be their business or their product necessarily.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And if they can answer that question, then of course, the follow-up question to that is, well, why would they buy from you? Now, most entrepreneurs have a good answer for number 2. Why would they buy from me? Well, we've got better technology, we're more scalable, we're a better team, all those things.
Great.
And that's fine.
Great.
But they have a very tough time with number 1 because they'll go in and start explaining things like, well, we have this ROI, or we're going to save them money, or something along this line.
Okay.
And the reality is that for enterprises, when you're selling to an enterprise, it's not just that you have to have ROI, but you have to have ROI that matters.
Yes. Yeah.
Right. So it has to be something that they are that's high on their priority list to cut. Not just I can cut expenses or increase revenue, but it's something that's high on the priority list of those expenses to cut or of those revenues to increase.
Okay.
And I'll give you an example from just a personal example that I think people can relate to.
Great.
You've seen the commercials from Geico, right?
Yeah. Really.
Switch to
fun.
Geico and you can save 15% on your car
Yes,
insurance.
yeah.
Well, I bet you if you called Geico, you probably could.
Yeah.
But in the grand scheme of things, your car insurance bill is not what keeps you up at night. Right. You've got maybe a mortgage, maybe your mortgage is underwater, you've got, childcare expenses, the kids are
Yes.
going to school, there's expenses associated to that.
Yes.
So there are much bigger expenses that you're more worried about actually saving against than a 50% auto insurance thing.
Right.
And so it's the same thing with startups selling to enterprises, right? It's not that, hey, I can go in and help you save this much money.
Right.
But is that ROI that you're describing an ROI that matters?
Yes.
And
yes.
it's a very
good
nuanced
qualification.
question. Yeah,
Yeah, really good qualification. And so I was wondering, what would you suggest, or what recommendation would you give an entrepreneur about their pitch? Like, how do you like people to present? What makes you really passionate or interested in a person's pitch?
Well, there's a couple things around that. The first thing is I think it has to be time appropriate.
Okay.
So what I mean by that is you have to understand whether you're doing a 60-second elevator pitch,
Okay.
Or a 5-10 minute longer cab ride pitch, or if you've got a full 30-minute to 60-minute hour meeting with the person, and make sure that you're conveying the right points within each of those time frames. And I say that because what ends up happening is, for example, here at the Thai conference, a lot of entrepreneurs will run into the hallway, they'll say, hey, I'm doing this.
Yes.
But what they really should be trying to do is figuring out whether it's interesting enough for me to take a meeting.
Yes.
And ultimately, regardless of whether you're doing an elevator pitch or a cab ride pitch or a full-on presentation,
Yes.
the goal of all of those meetings should be
Yes.
to get to the next meeting.
Of course, yes.
Well, people forget that. They try to sell too much in each of these meetings, and they don't understand the
interesting.
context of, I'm running into another dozen entrepreneurs here at the conference as I'm walking down the hallway, so which one am I going to remember?
Okay.
And so it gets back to what I was saying earlier, which is they're competing not against other players in their space,
Yes.
but other opportunities that may be coming to me.
Right, okay.
So
So I guess what I'm hearing then is that they need to really get to the point quite quickly, but also leave a space for you to get interested.
That's right.
To want to know more.
right.
Right,
And
okay.
their goal ultimately should be that they should either get hopefully enough interest, as you pointed out, to get to the next meeting,
Yeah.
or they should get a quick no. And they shouldn't look at the
Yes.
quick no as a bad thing, because it
Yes.
just saved everybody a lot of time.
Yeah, really.
Right? So, if someone came to me and said, I've got this great new consumer application,
Yes.
that's super viral, whatever,
Yes.
that's a quick no for me. That's not my
Yes.
space.
Yes.
I'm not an expert investor in,
Yes.
in consumer applications,
Uh-huh.
etc.
Uh-huh.
But a lot of times, even then, people will continue to talk about what a great application it is and how it's going to be super viral in the next Facebook, and it's just it's a mismatch.
Yes.
So we should just move
That
on.
is really good advice, and I really appreciate it, and I'm sure our viewers will too. Thank you so much, Prashant.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Okay.